Hi, Myri.
Moved my room around and it's just not good lighting anywhere.
We can't speak in short sentences. This is the problem with our relationship.
We're just wafflers.
We go through all aspects of life, and I think that's probably one of the key things, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't just have a conversation and say, "How was your work?"
I'll be like, I didn't cook my chicken right yesterday. I feel like I have salmonella.
So when I first met Vire, let's say your name right. So when I first met Vire, I thought Vire was completely clueless when it came to sport and rowing. And she was really shy. She didn't want to speak to anyone. In the break, she sat on her own. I started to think there was anything wrong with me.
And I had just never been in, first of all, a sports environment, and then like being in a predominantly white environment. It was intimidating for young Vire. Didn't know how to maneuver.
So if we take about a year on in terms of our development of our relationship, so I started to see the kind of fun-loving side of you, Vire, clearly deeply intelligent, and from my perspective, didn't have a clue about how good they could be, and more importantly, how good she was starting to be.
When I first started university and I was an absolute wreck, you helped more than anyone else in my life, to be honest. And I was just crumbling to pieces and you were slowly putting me back together. You're willing to take the time to invest in me, which is something that I didn't know I was like worthy of.
There's someone behind that is actually quite a sensitive soul, and doesn't believe in herself, and has been told probably too many times in her life that she's not good enough for certain things. And that's certainly deeper than I expected.
I feel like being an athlete is very much so like a self-led journey, but having Helen there every step of the way makes it a lot less lonely. You can trust me and I can trust you, and we can get the best output out of me on any day.
I know if I'm asking you to do something that you're gonna reciprocate and be honest if you're not capable of that. And for me, that shows that I can basically rely on you to have the same desire, the same goal as me. And similarly, obviously I trust that you come to me and say when things aren't so great, because that's probably almost more important.
I think what you're really, really good at, and something that sort of made me respect you so much, is the fact that at times you remind me that I'm human. And, you know, even thinking to last week when one of my rowing tests didn't go well because I was so mentally drained from midterms, you had to remind me, you're a human being. You're going through a lot of stress right now. You can't beat yourself up over being a few seconds away from your PB. And I think that just makes the athlete be able to open up even more, because you're not scrutinizing and you're not screaming, oh, you could have done better. And it's quite funny because I'm the one screaming at you, I could have done better, Helen. I could have done better.
There's been times where everyone's gone through some real tough personal challenges. And I've learned through those times as well how to kind of manage someone through basically the bad times in life. And it looks like everyone goes through times where there's more downs than there are ups. And for me, it's about listening to the individual. It's about giving you the space. It's about giving you the opportunity to not be okay. And that's something I've learned, because that doesn't come naturally. Everyone wants, like the coach wants to pick up the athlete and say, it'll be absolutely fine, you can get on with the session and you know, and be able to hit the performance targets that you want them to. And actually sometimes the coaching is the part where you say, do you know what, you need to be away from the club. I'm human, I make mistakes, I'm learning as much as you're learning. And if we can develop together and I can gain those skills to know, okay, do you know what? If I want someone to perform at the point in which it really, really, really counts, we've got to be able to understand that it's not always going to be a straight line as much as we'd love it to be. And actually, if we can go through the bad times and actually recognize it's going to be bad, then actually we can then pick up and go from there and enjoy the good times, more the point, because you don't just the good time becomes like an actual thing that we've achieved.